The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 115. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of real women producing extraordinary results by finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Get your free audiobook at our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap-Chan. And today we have a lady that's all the way from Florida. She's an entrepreneur, a phenomenal mom. I've met her once in Miami a couple years back. She's one of the sweetest, women I've ever met. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Roxy Morris. Roxy, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit about yourself to our listeners.
So my name is Roxy Morris. Like she said, I'm a mom. I am currently working on several businesses at a time, but one of my most exciting ones is I actually wrote a book, which is helping moms to kind of find their place after becoming a mom and find their, business and create a business while still being a full-time mom. And I also have a company with my husband that's about animation and 2D character design. And that's pretty awesome. We love doing that together. So he gets to be creative and I get to be kind of the brain.
That's awesome. That's great that you guys can work together. So what would be your cultural background?
I'm Puerto Rican.
Okay, cool. Thanks for sharing that. And, Roxy, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
It's actually one, I hope it's okay that I quote the Bible, but it's from the Bible. It says that we're God's handiwork, or some of the translations say that we're his masterpiece, created to do things that he prepared for us to do in advance. I just live by that because, it can get very overwhelming when you're trying to do something awesome and you can quickly think of everything that you should be doing that you're not doing at the moment because you're taking a break to breathe. And then you just got to remember, you're created to do these things. You'll be okay. It's going to work out.
I love it. And, it's true. We can create, right? Sometimes we just have these blocks in our head that stops us, right? And it's just all... It's all in our head. We can really create anything we want. It's funny. I have a calendar with quotes too. And today's quote was create every day.
Nice. So, we're in the same wave.
Yeah. So totally, it's just a nice reminder. So thanks for sharing that. And in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
I think self-confidence is about knowing who you are outside of who you're told to be. And especially the world we live in, there's so much technology, there's so much, this is the song you should be listening to, the movie you should be watching, the things you should be thinking according to those songs and movies that you're watching. So I think that when you're self-confident, you can take yourself apart from all of that and really define on your own who you are through that way. And because of that, you kind of have your own sense of self, and that creates your confidence.
I love it. And, and what you mentioned, society and media, it's just crazy that, they set up this standard that's not even, attainable. Well, it's fake, right? Especially when we see when we see models on a magazine and they're altered to the T where you don't even recognize who they are, right?
Yeah.
And it gives that false, notion thinking we have to look like that. So thanks for sharing that. And, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
It's actually really funny because I actually never thought about it until, I knew this question. And I actually went through a point in my life that was just full on depression. Right out of high school, when you're going to college and you're kind of discovering more about yourself when you're in college because you're in all these situations you've never been in before, right? And I remember getting really, really depressed. And, I gained 30 pounds in a year, which is a sign of depression, lots gain weight or weight loss. And I can honestly say I was really sad. I was really overwhelmed. I went through points of severe anxiety even. In one job that I had once, I was working over 60 hours a week. And I had such bad anxiety from my job that it got to the point that I couldn't leave my house. I couldn't walk my dog. Going to the movies freaked me out, or even walking out into the mall freaked me out. So I definitely know what it's like to have no self-confidence.
Wow, I didn't even realize you went through all that. When I met you, you were so, you just never know, right?
Yeah.
It's just amazing, like when you hear people's stories and know where they came from and where they are now. So, what was that aha moment in your life when you realized, you don't have to go through this, like you can overcome it and be the person who you really wanted to be?
I think one of the key turning points for me was making a huge decision in my life, which actually was to move from California to Florida, because I think that a decision like changing your entire location of everything you're used to and your norm is kind of a big deal. And it was something that I had thought about for about a year before I did it. But when I actually did it, I realized that I was so much stronger than I ever imagined, and that all the things I thought I needed weren't really things I needed at all. And so I was able to discover all the power that I have within myself to, get confident and be doing what I wanted to be doing and not make excuses for why, I wasn't doing them, just going on and full on doing them.
Awesome. And it's true, right? When you move to a different area, even if it's just like the next city, it's still a change, right? Because it's something you're not used to, it's unknown to you, and then you start to discover new things, how you adapt to new environments, and it really just helps you be the person that you are today, right? So after that realization, what's your life like now?
I mean, it's pretty awesome. Like she was saying, I'm a mom of two, and one of the awesome things is that I get to be with my kids every day. I mean, for so many hours. There are hours where I work, but it's nothing compared to, normal standards. But life today is awesome. Like I said, I'm working on my blog and what I'm doing with my book and all of that. And then I'm also helping my husband in our company in animation. And what's been amazing is that I've been able to see, if you want to call God or the universe or your energy, whatever you want to call it, I've been able to just see the transformation in myself just because of my thoughts and because of the way that the people I've allowed in my circle, I think have been a big influence on everything that's happened. So just kind of like being around the right people gets you in the right mind state, which lets you be yourself and lets you become confident and lets you know that it's okay to be you. You don't have to pretend that you are, like I don't like pop culture music. I don't have to pretend that I know the song on the radio. I don't. Like, I'm never going to know the song on the radio right now in my life. So, it's being comfortable with that. Like, I learned about the whip 5 months after it came out from my friend's mom who's in her 60s. And so, it's being okay with that. Being okay that to the normal standards, you're not cool, but to yourself, you're cool. And people can see that confidence and project it to everyone. And that makes it great.
I love it. And, it's funny that you mentioned that because a couple years back when they announced the new Pope, I had no idea either. And, it's fun. I love people's reactions when they're like, what's wrong with you? Don't you read the news? It's like, no, I don't. I mean, if I wanted to find something out, there's always someone out there who's going to tell me something, right? Because, it was just up in a conversation and they're like, the new Pope. And I'm like, there's a new Pope? She's like, don't you, things like that. And I'm okay with that, right? Not that I don't care about it. It's just, there's more things to think about, helping women out there be able to get out of their comfort zone and build their self-confidence. This is what I love doing. So, the other stuff doesn't really matter to me. And I can always pick up that information whenever I want to. So I love that you mentioned that part where you're like, you don't know what song's on the radio.
Yeah, and I mean, it is things you can always, learn. You can always go on CNN and see what's happening in the world if you really wanted to know. But at the end of the day, most of what's happening is not going to empower you because if we're honest, most of the news and the media is very negative. So it's not going to help you in any personal sense, and it's probably not going to affect you directly in very many ways.
Yeah, I totally agree. So Roxy, if our listeners, they're listening to your episode, they're inspired to do their own thing and, they're in their own journey of self-confidence, what would be that one tip you would give to them?
I would say get around people who make you feel like you can do anything. Get around people who believe in miracles. Get around people who believe in amazing things happening and that believe that those things are available to everyone who asks for them, because those kind of people are people who are going to love watching you succeed and push you to succeed. Whereas when you're around, other kind of people, there's other things that come in like envy or jealousy and stuff where people only want you to succeed a certain amount. But when you're around that crowd of people who's kind of in that state of mind of believing that you can do it and everything is possible, then you don't even have to worry about any kind of negative reaction because you're not around those people. You're not around your critics. You're actually around people who are rooting for you.
I love it. And it's so true. Who you surround yourself with can really affect, your confidence, right?
Yeah, totally.
They always say you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So it's really critical that who you surround yourself with is important so that it can help you in your journey. So thanks for sharing that. And Roxy, if our listeners want to get to know a little bit more of what you do, or just you in general, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
For sure. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram as Roxy_Cordero Morris. And Facebook is Roxy Morris. And then I have my website, which is roxymorris.com. And then there you can find out about what I'm doing as far as my book and my blog and all of that. And then my husband and I, our animation studio is called VMLMorris.com. And Morris is Morris.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Roxy, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Roxy's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I really want to thank Roxy for, taking the time to share her story with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Of course. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll catch you later. Bye for now. Thank you for joining us at the Tao of Self-Confidence. Head over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com for full recaps of every show, our amazing blog articles and resources, and just plain fun. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits, so start today.